Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that he is taking his most aggressive action so far, significantly downsizing the agency by 20,000 workers, and claims he can do more with less. So we want to go live to Scripps News national correspondent Nate Reed in D.C. this morning. And Nate, critics say this is a concern, especially now with that measles outbreak we're seeing hit multiple states.
Yeah, Bree, a lot more questions than answers this morning about the future of the Departments of Health and Human Services. As you just noted, the Secretary of Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., saying that they can do more with less. He's planning on trimming 20,000 jobs. 10,000 of those will be furloughs with leave. Others will be direct layoffs. Another 10,000 will be direct layoffs. They include job cuts at places like the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, job cuts at the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, which tracks public health and monitors infectious diseases. Also jobs at the medical research arm, the National Institutes of Health, NIH. They also want to close a couple of departments that could create major issues with Congress. They want to close the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. They run everything from substance abuse programs to the 988 suicide prevention hotline to the Health Resources and Services Administration, which funds community health centers, among other jobs. So those are both areas that Congress has specifically signed into law, voted into law. Those have been appropriated money for by Congress every single year, in some cases dating back to the 90s or before. So a lot of questions about what functionally would happen if you were to eliminate the funding for those various parts of the government, whether those programs would continue. Also major questions at this point about possible legal challenges. Democrats in Congress saying those moves by the Trump administration blatantly illegal.
Well, Nate, the Trump administration is continuing to crack down on international students attending American colleges and universities, and there's a viral video, this one causing some controversy.
Yeah, take a look at this video that we just got earlier this week from Medford, Massachusetts, just outside Boston, the home of Tufts University. One of their students swept up in an immigration raid that specifically had targeted her. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirming yesterday in Guyana on a trip that he had specifically called for her visa to be revoked over protests that she'd engaged in over Palestine and the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian war. Again, Marco Rubio saying that he's revoked 300 student visas, possibly could revoke more over some of that hate speech, in his words, that some of these immigrant students have engaged in. Again, major questions at this point, whether this is a freedom of speech issue. Also questions about whether some of these students participated in the violent riots that Secretary Rubio has accused them of participating in. Obviously, this is a story we're watching closely. Already multiple legal battles playing out with both that student's legal team and other legal teams for other students who've been swept up in similar immigration raids across the country.